King Cutter's Empire back at you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Bronny James is the real GOAT. Bronny James is the real GOAT. I'm going to play this and I'm going to come back and chop it up.
So dude died.
Well, let's keep going on with talking about another component on this Lakers roster. Bronny, been a key rotational player in the Lakers' last 2 wins, logging 18 minutes in the win over the Heat Sunday, 19 minutes against the Blazers, with high praise coming from J.J. Redick and his teammates in that stretch. Yeah, you trained Bronny before. Looking good. Is Bronny looking more comfortable on the court in year two?
I trained him in 8th grade.
It doesn't matter. Take credit. Like, there's a lot of
No, look, listen. He's still in that phase where these are NBA players, and look, where most aggressive players will be when they first get in, like, he's timid. Most of his mistakes is coming because he's timid, right? He comes in and he's already looking to pass when you have this shot, you got this driving lane. Like, most of his drives are driving to pass the ball. So when he gets on the pick and roll, instead of just turning the corner, because obviously this guy can't stay in front of you, you widen it all the way out so you can try to make the easy pass.
He's playing not to make mistakes.
Playing not to make mistakes.
He is playing not to make mistakes.
He should get in. 3 minutes, get 4 shots up, try to get 2 assists, 2 rebounds. There should be a goal, like star players have goals, right? Like I want to average this. I got like you come in with 3 to 4 minutes. It ain't about get 3 shots, 2 offensive. Like give yourself a stat line and then go forward so you know how to play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I hear you, but they tell you that I need you to get the guys involved. I need you to be. Yeah. I need you to be a playmaker.
That's coaching.
All right, that's enough of that. But when I say that Bronny James is the real GOAT, first and foremost, I want you to notice that I never said he's the GOAT of the NBA. So let's make that perfectly clear. But when I say he's the GOAT, I'm talking about he's the GOAT when it comes to being GOAT-coded. You see, he get a lot of backlash. He get a lot of talk about or negativity because of who he is, just off the strength of his last name, okay? But when you look at the real storyline, you have to say, as it relates to Bronny James, he's GOAT-coded. He's GOAT-coded. Ain't nobody in the NBA right now, I want y'all to hear me out, nobody in the NBA right now is moving with the type of pressure, the type of scrutiny, the type of test that come upon a player like Bronny James. Nobody. You look at all these future stars, even Ant-Man, even Ja Morant, they're not moving with the type of pressure that's on Bronny James. Not at all. He's constantly dealing with pressure. He's constantly dealing with scrutiny. He's constantly being tested. And yet he still walk around with poise. That's GOAT-coded, man. That's GOAT-coded. When you can deal with your name always being in the media, when people in social media is clowning you, saying that you ain't worth nothing, you shouldn't be in the NBA, and still go out there with poise and still not allow that to affect him with all of the pressure, with all the scrutiny on him, man, you have to give it up to him, man. He's GOAT-coded. He's GOAT-coded. And another reason why he's GOAT-coded, must I remind you, he made it to the NBA. You could say on the strength of LeBron James, his daddy, whatever you want to say. That's cool. That's fine. Okay. But he still made it to the NBA. This GOAT-coded right here. This GOAT-coded status. He made it to the NBA even after his physical heart stopped. Man, where my button at? That's GOAT-coded. Even after he had that fear, that scare, when his heart stopped. Not his ankles. It wasn't no injury to his knees, to his shoulders. This man's heart physically stopped. And yet he's in the NBA and carrying himself with poise, even though he's under heavy pressure, heavy scrutiny. That's GOAT-coded. So when I say he's the GOAT, y'all need to really hear me out, man. Hear me out. Most athletes who will have experience what Bronny James experienced with that health scare, with that situation he had, would never have come back from that. Never. Their mind would have been fucked. Their mind would have been in shackle. Their mind would have been in prison. Yet, he came back. He was quiet. He was disciplined. He was consistent. He was steady. And he did what he needed to do to get in the NBA. After, must I remind, after his heart stopped. After his heart stopped. And still going out there trying to compete. Still going out there trying to improve himself. That's GOAT coded. How many people experience what Bronny James experienced and their life was never the same? I'm waiting. I hear crickets. Matter of fact, how many people had a heart attack, right? And their life was never the same? This man, he experienced what he experienced, and he came back and still carrying himself with poise, still doing what he needs to do, whether you believe he should be in the NBA or not, okay? His ability and his capacity that he demonstrated in being able to overcome literally death-like level situation, you can't help but tag him with a GOAT spirit. All right? Another thing is why Bronny is GOAT coded. He's carrying, I want y'all to hear me out. He's carrying the heaviest last name in sports history, not just the NBA. Okay? We're not just talking about the NBA. Yeah, I hear some of y'all gonna say Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever coming in the NBA. I agree. Okay, that's my personal opinion. There's both arguments on both sides that can be used in debate to say who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. But my personal opinion, I'm rolling with MJ. LeBron James is a very close second. Okay, but be as it may, Jordan's name was not carried by legacy. I want y'all to hear me out. Nobody else came in the NBA and had to carry Jordan's name. And with social media as being large as it is, the LeBron James name, that last name James, is everywhere. And Bronny James, had to come into the league carrying the heaviest name in sports history. You can't tell me they ain't GOAT status. That ain't GOAT status. Where Michael Jordan's son at? And we're going to talk about that. Where his son at? Yeah, you got other people's sons in the NBA. Tim Hardaway's son. There's a few more, but their sons don't have to carry the burden of LeBron James. They're going to have to carry the burden of a great last name. They're going to have to carry the burden of a last name that's always in the media, on ESPN, First Take, on Shannon Sharp Show. But Bronny James, he have to. And guess what? Even though he got to carry that name, you don't see Bronny James somewhere having a mental breakdown, folding. You don't see him somewhere whining and crying about, oh, everybody want me to live up to what my daddy. You don't see him somewhere trying to shrink back in fear against the expectation that's put upon him. But he looking like it, like, man, listen, my pop built the empire. I'm just blessed to stand on it. So he's embracing it. He going out there having fun, and he embracing the position that he was put in. And that take mental fortitude. Mental fortitude. You know how many children, because their daddy or even their mama have built something substantial, and when they come along and don't feel like they're adequate to carry on, you know how many of children break down and, go into some type of mental frenzy that end up giving up, quitting, end up selling a business, end up selling a restaurant, end up talking about, I want to be my own person. And that's fine. You got a lot of people there, but that's fine. But we're going to talk about that too. I want to be my own person. I want to take my own journey. I want to go down my own path. No, Bronny James, he wasn't like that. He wasn't like that. He said, I know I'm carrying the heaviest name in sports history. And yet, I'm going to still be who I am. And I'm not going to let this name make me shrink back in fear. I'm going to have the mental fortitude that most grown men don't have. So you can sit up and talk about Bronny James. He's weak. He can't do this. Oh, he shouldn't be in the NBA. This is a sad situation. But no, he still got the mental fortitude that a lot of you grown men don't have. A lot of you grown men, you mess up your finger or whatnot. You want to quit. You want to throw in the towel. You can't handle pressure. But Bronny James is handling pressure. Why? Because he got the mental fortitude to be able to do so. That's GOAT coded. That's GOAT level humility. That's GOAT level maturity. That's GOAT level self-awareness, man. The third thing. The reason why Bronny James is the GOAT. I want y'all to hear me out. He's the GOAT because he don't. I want y'all to pay attention to this. He don't compete with his daddy. Let me say that again. The reason why Bronny James is GOAT coded, he don't compete with his daddy. On the contrary, he honor what his daddy LeBron James built, man. And this what make him different from a lot of people, especially in the so-called black community. I know a lot of y'all about to get upset. Man, what you mean so-called black people? I'm black. No, you're not. Okay, you're not black. I say so-called black for the sake of understanding. Black is a social construct that was put in place by colonizers as a destination for class, as a destination for condition, and is used as a system to further hierarchy, to further subjugation. So, you're not black, okay? And I'm just saying, I had to break that down, but I use it for the sake of understanding. And I know a lot of you black people, you're going to get mad at me. I'm black myself, okay? What you concerned? Black, I know you're going to get mad at me, but you want to know what separates a lot of black children from so-called white children? And I'm not making this a race thing, but I got to point out the obvious. A lot of black children is not willing to embrace what their daddy established. You can't tell me I'm wrong, because my call and my purpose outside of what I do on these platforms, I have to deal regularly with my people, okay, because of the calling on my life. And you have more children that's willing to fight against their daddy, willing to compete with their daddy, instead of embracing what their daddy put in place. Bronny James is GOAT coded because he came from structure. He came from an empire. He came from guidance, from a good leader. He came from opportunity, and instead of rejecting it, he chose to honor it. He ain't out there trying to talk about, I'm trying to be better than my daddy LeBron James, because that's what, unfortunately, this society do. Society like to pin great so-called black people against other great so-called black people, even try to pin the children against the daddy. But Bron James, I got to say he's a GOAT because his mental fortitude, to go back to that, he have enough intellectual understanding and insight to realize I'm not here to compete with my daddy. I'm here to honor him and embrace what he put in place. So-called white people, they embrace what their parents put in place. That's why you see all these corporations still going, because their children came along. I'm going to pick up where daddy left off at. I'm going to pick up where mama left off at. And I'm going to keep this business going. I'm going to keep this restaurant going. I'm going to keep this establishment going. All right? I'm not going to be trying to compete. Why am I going to make my life that much harder when I can compete? When I can just embrace what they put in place and make my life that much easier. They went through the hardship. Daddy went through the hardship. Mama went through the hardship. Okay? And because they went through the hardship, I'm not saying this is the case for all so-called white people, but for a vast majority of them, this is what they do. But unfortunately, I know you're going to get mad at me. It's okay, but we got to deal with reality. A lot of black people, man, you don't embrace what's put in place because you so fixated on, this propaganda that society put on you. You have to be your own man. What do you mean you got to be your own man? Huh? The stuff that I'm putting in place, I'm teaching my children. You take it. Allow my ceiling to be your floor, and you take it and build. I already did the groundwork. I already got the business in place. I already got the clothing line in place. Huh? I already done wrote books and it's out there on Amazon. Okay? Selling copies. I want you to take this and grow it. You still can have a purpose, but you can intertwine your purpose within what's already established. And don't be talking about you trying to compete with your parents. No, I'm taking what my parents built and established, and I'm taking it further. And then their children are supposed to take what they did and take it further. This is how generational wealth is established. I don't know how I got here, but I'm talking about it. Because you got a lot of black people sitting around talking about, generational wealth, they got a heads up. But when somebody puts something in place to help you further establish generational wealth, not only for yourself, but for your children, children, you don't embrace it. You let it go. Huh? How many so-called black restaurants, especially in the inner cities, where pop shops and whatnot was established and the kids came on, I don't want to own this restaurant. I don't want to put in work. So let's sell it. Let it go to whatever. And somebody else come into the inner city, buy that same restaurant and making buku money. Because you didn't want to put in the work. You didn't want to take what your parents put in place and take it further. That's why I'm saying Bronny James, on the level that he's on, he's GOAT-coded, because instead of competing with LeBron James, he embraced that. That's what nepotism is all about. And we all sit up here cry all the time, nepotism on the job, nepotism in the corporation, nepotism over there. But when somebody puts something in place for you to experience nepotism, you don't want to do it because you want to be your own person. I know you get mad at me, but it's the truth. Bronny James is GOAT-coded because he spent time trying to build himself up, trying to build up what his daddy put in place, taking advantage of the nepotism, taking advantage of the opportunity that his daddy put in place instead of trying to outshine his daddy. His mindset is, my daddy already done climbed the mountain. Why the hell I got to climb it? Yeah, put me on the Lakers. You climbed the mountain already. I'm on top of the mountain. I'm up here with you. Huh? Bronny James didn't have to put in the work LeBron James had to put in. He didn't have to go through the trials that LeBron James had to go through. He didn't have to go through the circumstances and the obstacles and jump the hurdles that LeBron James had to go through. But because LeBron James was already at the top of the mountain, Bronny James didn't have to climb, and Bronny James put him up there with him. And now he said, I'm embracing your legacy, Daddy, and I'm going to do what I can to make the legacy to keep going. You see, that's how kingdom-minded people operate. That's how kingdom-minded people operate. Okay? Another thing, number 4, Bronny James is GOAT-coded because he fight internal battles. I want y'all to pay attention to this. He fight internal battles, not internet battles. Man, I'm getting y'all some fire right here, man. Bronny James, he fight internal battles, not internet battles. He understands what most average young people don't understand today. You don't have time to be on the internet trying to fight internet battles. You got so many, comment fighters. They get in the comments and they want to fight and go back and forth all day, but they're not building nothing. They're not doing nothing monumental. That's why they got time to be on social media. That's why they got time to be in a comment section. That's why they got time to be scrolling up and down Insta Live, Facebook, TikTok. But Bronny James said, listen, I know they're going to talk about me. I know my name going to be in the media because of who my daddy is. I know I'm going to have scrutiny, but I don't got time to be fighting internet battles. I got time to be dealing with my own internal battles. You got to understand, your real opponent is not the internet. Your real opponent is not haters. Your real opponent is not people who going to try to throw, shade your way. Your real opponent is yourself. That's why I tell my son, listen, my son is, he played basketball and he on the sophomore team, right? Me and my brother, we played college ball. And let me say this, it's amazing how, a lot of people, especially street ball people, talk about they do this and that. They never played, orchestrated or should I say structured basketball. Me and my brother, we played on a collegiate level basketball. And you have a lot of guys in the street game, they'll get buckets, but if they played in a collegiate level basketball, they won't get buckets because it's a difference between playing the game. I want y'all to hear me. It's a difference between playing the game and knowing how to play the game, okay? And me and my brothers, we got buckets. And when we got to college and had to watch all them tapes and had to do all them different drills, man, our buckets' ability to score went through the roof. All right. And I'm not boasting. There was one point in my life, probably 1-2 years max, when I was at the peak of my life, man, my skill set, was better than LeBron James. I know y'all gonna think that's funny, but I'm being real, okay? My skill set was better than LeBron James. The only thing that was different is I'm only 5'11", and I come from a small town. I didn't have that type of exposure because, I guess the Most High had a different route, a different plan for my life, which I'm operating in. I'm happy with the plan of my life that the Most High gave me. But anyway, yeah, my skill set was better because I was able to shoot the three, no problem. Just come down there and pull up. Had a mid-range game. It was able to get to the hole. But when you got a certain size, I don't care what nobody telling you. When you play somewhat type of basketball on a collegiate level or professional basketball, they'll tell you, man, people will tell you it's a difference between playing on that type of level and playing in the streets, okay? It's a big difference. The defense is different. The mindset is different. The pace is different, okay? So that's why I don't too much pay attention to people who never played basketball, never played high school basketball, never played on a collegiate level basketball, never been in the NBA. I don't too much pay attention to people because they don't really understand what really goes on that type of level of play, right? They really don't understand. They just be talking, okay? And don't let nobody tell you size don't matter. Size do matter when it comes to playing on a collegiate level, when it comes to playing in the NBA. Size do matter. Okay, and that's another reason why I get Bronny James. He don't have the same size, as his daddy. His daddy was gifted with that size, 6'8", and with that frame. His daddy was gifted with that. Having that size put you over your competitors. It gives you an edge when you got a skill set to go with it. A lot of people don't understand it. When you small and you have to be a scorer and you dealing with people. And like I said, me and my brother, we 5'11". He might be a little taller than me. He might be 6 foot. But anyway, 5'11", 6 foot, and you have to go down there and bang, going to the hole, banging with people 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", right? You playing point guard, and I was the two guard, but we was interchangeable. We was combo guards, playing both point and shooting guard. And the average point guard, the average shooting guard is 6'3", and the shooting guard you're playing against is most of them 6'4", 6'5", and the small forwards, and you got to bang with that. It drains you. A lot of people don't talk about that. It drains you. So when I hear people talk about how I get buckets, this and that, man, it wear and tears on your body. When you don't got that frame, yeah, we was getting buckets, huh? We was getting buckets, and my brother listened to this. If my brother listened to it, he'll tell you, man, I was a bucket getter. I'm not boasting. So that's why I'm be paying attention to a lot of people when they talking. It's a difference between playing the game and knowing how to play the game. When you get to college and they teach you, sit you down and teach you the ins and out, teach you how to read defense, teach you how to think 3 to 4 steps ahead, man, it's a big difference, okay? But lastly, okay, I know I went on a little rant, but it's okay. Lastly, Bronny James is the GOAT. Watch this. He's the GOAT because he embraced his own story. He embraced his own story. And what I mean by that, he's not going out there trying to be what everybody expect him to be. That ain't what he's trying to do. He's embracing his own story. He ain't out, and listen, he understands he's not LeBron James. He embracing what his daddy did for him, but he's not going out there trying to be LeBron James. It's a difference. He's not going out there trying to get buckets. His story is all about beating the odds with the help of his daddy. See, a lot of you guys, you trying to live up to the expectation of others. That ain't gonna get you GOAT status. Because now, when you living to the drum beat and trying to live up to the expectations of others, you then become their puppet. You become their puppet, right? They able to puppet you and have you doing what they want you to do. But when you embrace your own story, you then is able to reach GOAT status, because you then begin to understand, I'm not competing, I'm not living according to the naysayers or the daysayers, whatever you want to tag them in. I'm competing against myself. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. I'm trying to embrace my own story. Okay? And that's why I tell my son, he's good. He's a sophomore in high school right now. And I told him, I said, listen, you supposed to be better than everybody else. And he been putting in a lot of work this past summer. I said, you're supposed to be better than everybody else, to the point where you in your mind is saying, I'm not competing with everybody else. That's not your mindset. I'm competing with myself. What can I do to get better? What can I do to get my name in the annals of history? What can I do to leave a legacy? What can I do to not only embrace what you put in place with what the mindset and what have you that you have given me, Daddy, but what can I do to be a better me, to take what you put in place further? So Bronny James, like I said in the beginning, I'm not saying he's the GOAT of the NBA, but LeBron James' son, Bronny James, is the GOAT, because he's GOAT-coded. What he overcome and steady overcoming, the average person wouldn't be able to do it. And that's why I somewhat get upset with Kwame Brown, because Kwame Brown was in the same predicament that Bronny James was in, and he threw a lot of shade, he threw a lot of hate towards Bronny James. And Kwame Brown, knowing the scrutiny and knowing the pressure that Bronny James was under, because he was under himself. And what Stephen A. Smith and all the other analysts did towards him, he doing the same thing to Bronny James, and it's not fair. And I agree with a lot of things Kwame Brown talk about. I do. He's a good content creator. But on this matter with Bronny James, I don't agree with him. He should be more in a position trying to help him and trying to help him understand and beat the odds, because he's been there. All right? But make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for your boy. Share the video. All right, peace.